Hello, you're listening to Over the Oxer podcast with Tracy Cole for all things to do with the mind for equestrians. So welcome to this last episode of 2025. And hasn't 2025 absolutely rushed by? And that will be the topic of this chat today, how to slow time down a little bit using very, very, very quick techniques. But before I start that, I want to just thank everybody who listens, who downloads, who shares my podcast, everybody that's emailed or messaged me. Thank you so much. Everybody who nominated me for the Equestrian Business Awards. I was a finalist in the media section and I had a whale of a time at the presentation dinner. Didn't win, but I was enormously proud just to be a finalist. So thank you so much. And I also want to give a shout out to people in various different countries, because by now we are reaching, I think, about 47 different countries of the world, which is just amazing to me, totally amazing. So I just want to shout out to a few countries there, just to say hello. Now, the running order in terms of the number of downloads and listens by country changes week on week. So this is for this particular week. So coming in at number one with about 55% of the downloads is the United Kingdom, as you might expect, because I'm from the United Kingdom. Second place goes to United States. Lots of listeners there in Kansas, which I'm absolutely thrilled about because I used to live in Kansas, used to live there in Manhattan, used to go and see the Wildcats. So hello to you. If you're not a Wildcat supporter, then maybe you're KU or even Wichita. But a big hello to you. Also, California is a big one as well, and Virginia as well. Australia. Hi, if you're in Australia. South Australia is the biggest downloader, so thank you so much. Canada, it's, now, can I remember? Alberta is the biggest download, so thank you so much. Then we have Ireland and France and Poland and Norway and Belgium and Oman and Philippines and Germany and Honduras and New Zealand. So thank you so much. And if your country isn't mentioned, it just means that last week maybe you didn't listen or download. But thank you so much for listening right now. It means a lot. So let's get on to today's topic, which is time. And time, when you talk to almost anybody and everybody, seems to be speeding up. I mean, 2025 has just raced by, and I'm sure you'll agree. And so I wanted to know, is there something in it? Because if you look in the conspiracy theory, alternative kind of social media and internet sites, they say that time is speeding up. So physically, the physics of time is speeding up. And they have many theories on why that might be happening. But I wanted to know, is it, I'm not sure what we can do if it is, but is it our perception of time? Because when I was a little girl, I always remember my mum saying that when you get older, time goes quicker and quicker. So I thought, it's probably just a symptom of getting older then. But it doesn't seem to be, because it seems to go across age ranges. So I did some research, and if we believe the quantum physics, then time isn't actually speeding up. But if we then look at the psychology of it, then our perception of time is definitely different to how we were 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. So what's making life seem to be so rapid and the years just gallop by? Because I think I'm somewhere in maybe 2018, 2019 maybe. I don't think I've hit 2020 yet. So the main thing that's happening in our brains in this fast-paced society is that we have a lot of repetition and routine in our lives. That's very sad to say, isn't it? So we tend to do the same or similar things each day. So, for instance, I don't do the same thing every single day, but I might do similar things. So on a Wednesday afternoon, a Monday afternoon, I run trainings with different people and we're talking about different topics, but that doesn't seem to be quite enough variation. And there are times during the week that I'm doing very similar things as well. So I coach at a certain time, I write my social media posts at a certain time, certain day. And again, I'm doing what I consider to be different things, but my mind is just kind of blocking it all together and saying, yeah, that's a typical Monday. Yeah, that's a typical Tuesday. And it's generalizing a lot of what I do. Now, there are weeks, obviously, like everybody else, where I do something completely different and I do something special. And I remember those times. But if I haven't had something like that, then my brain doesn't catalogue it. It's almost as if our brains have got a box labelled same old, which is awful to say. And it just kind of lumps and dumps everything in there if you've had a reasonably normal day. So it is quite, I think it's, it is sad that this is what our lives have come to. And our brains are kind of calling out for some variety, some excitement, something different. So what can we do about it? Well, I didn't want to think of or find out exercises that were going to take like 10 minutes a day, because that just takes even more time off you. And I wanted to find techniques that were quick and easy. And you don't have to kind of sit yourself down and say, right, I'm going to do my technique now, but you can just kind of do it. And so I've got 3 levels for you. The first level is designed to take the edge off, the feeling that you haven't got time. The second is to have a little bit more depth and feel you have got time. And the third, when practiced routinely, and I say that word with a smile on my face, that can help you to feel that you have the time and you can slow down. You don't need to be doing everything at breakneck speed. So the first little technique just involves noticing one thing at each end of the day. So when you get up in the morning, it doesn't have to be first thing, doesn't have to be a morning routine, but sometime in the morning, notice something that you can see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, and sit with it. So maybe you see the sunrise, and maybe you touch a piece of clothing. Maybe you smell your tea, your coffee, or maybe you taste your breakfast. There's just one thing, just one simple thing. And you just sit with it, and you don't do anything with it, but you just keep kind of reminding yourself of that particular sense. And that's it. You enjoy it for a few moments, and you do it at the start of the day, and then you do it also at the end of the day. And that's it. And volunteers who did this found that after just 3 days, they seemed to have more time. Life didn't seem to be as pressured and time poor. So then some of those volunteers continued to do those exercises, start of the day, end of the day, and continued with another exercise. And again, very simple. Don't have to do anything different about your day. Don't have to sit down and meditate or anything like that. The second exercise is to do something a bit different every day. So maybe you go on a walk, and it would be to change where you go on that walk or change the speed of your walk. Maybe you could make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with your non-dominant hand. Maybe it'd just be stirring a cup of tea or coffee with your non-dominant hand. Maybe you can have a different order of doing things in the morning. It can be absolutely anything at all. If you like scrolling on social media, maybe, now here's one that might be a challenge, you open a book instead. That one's quite challenging. It's amazing how little concentration we have these days for things like books. So you incorporate something a bit different into your day. So you could type just with your non-dominant hand. I think I'm going to have a go at writing with my non-dominant hand, not my client notes. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But, little notes that I write for myself. I'm going to do it left-handed. Okay, now, are you ready for the third level? Because the people who did the first 2 levels, and they did the first level for 3 days, and then they did both for an additional 3 days, really started to see a difference in how much time they had, which seems amazing to me because we've all got 24 hours in a day. So the perception must have changed quite phenomenally. But if you're ready for a bigger change, you can incorporate the third one. Or you can just do each one individually. You don't have to do all of them all the time. But here's the third one then. And this is what the volunteers found to be the most difficult. But it's only going to cost you maybe 30 seconds a day. And that is when you finish one particular task in your day, you stop and pause for 5 seconds. That's it. So if, like me, you tend to go from task to task to task to task, and you just keep going and going and going, and you don't pause between, I've just finished editing the podcast for January, and now I'm doing this podcast, and if I'm not careful, I can see on my list that I need to send some emails, and I wouldn't pause between each one of those. But it's a 5-second pause. If, like me, you're used to doing things back to back, you do end up feeling a bit itchy at first. A bit like, oh, what's 5 seconds going to really do? And you start doing the next task. But if you're really determined and you've got great willpower, then wait 5 seconds. And it's between all your tasks if you can manage it. And this is the one that's really the power stroke, that people found that their whole perception of not having enough time and running hither and thither didn't seem to happen anymore. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it over Christmas. And I'm going to try it in the next few days. But if you have a go, report back to me. Do send me an email or a message. So I'm info@tracycolenlp.com. I'd love to hear whether it works or not. It certainly did in the psychological research, but I'd love to know, does it work for riders? Because we're such busy people, especially in the wintertime. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you'll know exactly what I mean at the moment. But even in the Southern Hemisphere, you might be dashing out of the sun. Okay, so have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas time. Have a fantastic new year. And I will see you on the 6th of January. Take care. See you really soon. Just a little PS, completely forgot to mention it. In January, the new NLP coach practitioner training starts. It's every Monday. 1:30 till 5 o'clock UK time. You can join from wherever you are in the world. It does run for 16 weeks, but recordings are available, and there are ways of doing it without being live on every single session. You can pay in monthly installments over 12 months, and you can learn some mindset tips and tricks and some very deep techniques that I just can't go into on a podcast. So it's a stronger version of this podcast. So if you want to get rid of your own gremlins, or if you want to add it to your current business, or maybe you'd like to start a new business to do with mindset, maybe for equestrians, maybe for non-equestrians, then do get in touch. I have 2 spaces remaining and I would love to see you. So email me at info@tracycolenlp.com. tracycolenlp.com. Yeah, that's the one. And I will see you really soon. It's a great course and I hope to see you there. Take care. Bye.